Retromaniacs, what's going on? Retro Collectibles here. Got an unboxing video today, and we're gonna unbox it, put it together, have a look at it. I've also got a big life-changing event that kind of happened to me last night, and you're gonna notice I'm in a different location, and I'm gonna get into that in a minute. So let's hit the intro. Get at it. Isn't that so cool, guys? It's a prototype of the Retrofly. Can't stop looking at it. Anyway, let's get to the video. Hey guys, so let's get down to business. You're gonna notice I'm outside in a different location, and I'm gonna tell you why in a second. We're gonna unbox this, so let's get down to business. I haven't posted this on Facebook yet. Barely anybody knows except close family and very close friends. But my wife and me split 2 days ago, and it was totally unexpected. And Friday night, I was a mess. I was in my apartment, in our apartment that she's no longer at. See, she's from British Columbia, and both of her parents are getting old. Her brother and sister-in-law are out there. And there is this thing where I don't talk a lot about it because I'm private. If you're on my Facebook, you'll see it. But I have a 12-year-old or 15-year-old daughter named Tatum. And she has autism. And I don't put her in videos for privacy reasons. Diane's from BC, her parents are all from BC. Kelowna, where she's from, is on fire right now, which makes it even more stressful for her. And we've talked, and I could never move out there. Like, she said to me, you know, you can fly out every couple months to see your daughter. I couldn't do it, guys. I couldn't, I'm not made like that. I can't be that far from her if something happens. There was other issues. It wasn't just that. But I think that played a major role in it. For years, I felt guilty that she was choosing me over her family because I could never move out there. And her parents are getting older now. And there's stressful, like there's a fire out there as well, right? So there was other issues, but I think that played a really big role. We both had different working shifts. She was a regional manager, but she had to work a lot of weekends, and I have weekends off, and there was a lot of times I would be with friends having a barbecue or whatever, and they'd say, "Where's Diane?" And I'd say, "Oh, she's got to work." So I think that might have played a role in it too. Not that she resented me for it, but I think that it put stress on our relationship because I would be coming home from a night shift and I would have to go to bed when she was home. Like, I was seeing her very, very little. So, but as you can see, this is sealed. And by the way, guys, I will be okay. I was a mess Friday night. Good thing about being sober is I met real friends. Okay, now I have a couple lifelong friends that I've had that I'm very close to, that are normal and not on drugs and not in and out of jail criminals, but they don't live here. My friends that I've gotten in the last couple years really proved to me that they're true friends and they're good people, and I made the right choice leaving my bad life. Because I was laying there a mess Friday because I came home, I had 4 hours sleep, worked from 4:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. to find out she had left. And I don't work so easy on no sleep, so I was a mess, okay? I told my friend Dave, he made me promise I was going there because I was very, very, very upset. And I kept putting it off because I was so tired, I didn't feel good to drive. And I finally fell asleep, and he ended up, well, my buddy Glenn showed up pounding on my door, which surprised me because I live in a secure building. I was half asleep laying in the lazy boy. "Who is that?" I said, "Who is it?" And he goes, "It's Glenn." And I heard him on the phone with my other friend Dave, and Dave was saying get him out of there, make sure he packs, changes the clothes, get his toiletries, blah blah blah. Like, they were basically getting me out of there, which is a good thing because the cat's gone too, right? So the place is empty. And it's not empty of furniture. Like, she didn't do anything like clean me out or steal all the rent. Like, the rent's paid for this month that's coming up. And then I still have the last month, which is for October. So I still have 2 months in that apartment, but I'm not going to stay in there because it doesn't feel right. I went there for 20 minutes yesterday to get some stuff. I was fine for the first 10. Then I saw the cat litter box. I seen some of her other stuff because when she left, she took her car, right? Because she's just got a new car a few months ago. So she's driving. So she could only take certain stuff. So it broke my heart to see that. I've talked to her on the phone. We're still going to be friends. We still care and love each other. But we're just at different spots right now, and I understand. There's no harsh feelings. I'm glad we're still going to be friends. It didn't result from an argument. It just happened. So I will be okay, guys. I have options. I have a very good job, and I also have friends that have come to rescue me. So, and I will have a place to stay that I can afford to live at. Anyway, here's what we're working with, guys. Now, when this is together, this looks just like the ERTL 118 scale, because this is ERTL, right? So I didn't mind paying a few extra bucks to get the same quality. And I always said I'd be willing to spend $100 on this model kit, up to $100. Well, we were at the diecast show yesterday, and Dave points this out. He said, wow, look at that. The box is bad, but it's 70 bucks. I said, whoa, that's a smoking deal, because I'm going to display it anyway, right? And the box truly wasn't that bad. And this has a lot of small parts. I won't bore you with it. I think I'm going to put parts of it together and then show you guys, because you guys all know how to do a model. I mean, I'm just going to show you the progress of it. But I'm seeing these big bags of parts now, I'm like, holy crap, I'm not going to make a 4-hour video for these guys, but I'll do it in segments. I thought it was just like basically this and the bottom, but there's tons of parts. But anyway, I'm going to start freeing some of this stuff up, and then we'll get into it. Luckily, we have instructions. Oh, I'm going to say this, guys, because of all the stress of what happened. I noticed, I just watched my hovering DeLorean video, and I put the beginning of the video in it twice. I apologize for that. I'm usually more on the ball. It was no sleep and just the shock of everything that happened, but I will be okay. I have a good job and everything, and I'm not on drugs. I will be okay. So, thank God, though, we get instructions, because this is like a regular model, but it's got a die-cast body. Haven't done one of these in years, so I hope it comes out okay. Well, let's get these parts out. At least it comes in simple steps like they used to. Step 1, we're going to pop this engine together here. That's going to be a pretty simple one. That's going to be step 1. As you've seen, these older kits come with everything. The glue, the screwdriver, everything. What year is it from? It's the same people that did my Bandit car, ERTL RC2. And they also did my Vanishing Point car, my gift from my good buddy G. So as you can tell, I'm a fan of ERTL. This is 2003, so it's actually a year newer than Bullitt. So let's see how she's gonna come out. Heard a noise last night at the barbecue here, guys, and we got a little visitor in the recycle bin, a big field mouse. So I want to let him go. He's alive and stuff. I'm gonna let him go, but I'm gonna let him go across the street or something so he doesn't come back to the house. But do that in a bit. Something else, hey guys, a big field mouse too. But I forgot to read you for the younger people that don't know about Bullitt. Bullitt. 1968 Ford Mustang. Detective Frank Bullitt's new assignment seems routine. Protect a star witness for an important trial. But before the night is out, the witness lies dying, and the cool, no-nonsense Bullitt, Steve McQueen, won't rest until the shooters and the kingpin pulling their string are nailed. From opening shot to closing shootout, Bullitt crackles with authenticity. On location San Francisco filming, crisp dialogue, and to the letter police, hospital, and morgue procedures. An Oscar winner for Best Film Editing, this Rager Edge thriller features one of the cinema history's most memorable car chases. Not one of, the. Buckle up and brace for unbeatable action. Yeah, they're right about that movie. It's awesome, and
now I'm in a mood to watch it on my TV.
Yeah, Glenn wants to watch the movie now. But anyway, I got this first part of it done. The engine, took the body out. It's nice. It is a model kit, guys. It doesn't have as many. It does have a couple decals, one for the motor and one for the license plate. I'm not going to put those on today. I'm going to get my decal solution from my apartment. But we're going to get the rest of it together. But here is step one. The motor is done. And yeah, let's get on to the rest of it. Phase 2 is done, guys. You're wondering why I'm not showing you me putting the car together. You would thank me if you seen me struggling for 20 minutes to get that engine to sit properly seated. It's got the little holes to seat it in and that, but even when I was a kid, you could never get them seated straight. But after 20 minutes of fiddling with it, it sat straight. I was like, damn, that's the way to do it. The rad hose hooked up, everything. One thing I'm going to do though is it's not quite as detailed as I would like. They made it so you didn't have to paint it, but there's some things that I'm gonna want to paint. Like I'm gonna paint the battery terminal silver. Like the battery shouldn't be completely black, obviously, right? So there's some little minor details I'm gonna touch up on my own. Another tip: the glue, the tester's model glue from 2002 in this box. Be careful, because I got it and I said, I wonder if it's going to be dried up. The tip had rubberized, okay, turned to rubber. So I started playing with it, squeezing it, seeing. I said, oh, it's moving inside, it might still be good. All of a sudden the rubber part comes off like the blob and then poof, all over my hands. So I'm glad I didn't film that. So be careful with that glue, because it might look like it's dried up, but it's not. Body looks okay. Cool fact about this car, guys. So the real Bullitt Mustang, you can look this up. It's sold, I believe, at that Mecum auction, or one of those auction places, the high dollar ones. I like watching those auctions, but to be honest, I think they're bad for the classic car market. I think they skyrocket the prices of them. It's like eBay for classic cars, basically. But oh, my buddy's on his phone here. One sec. Taking Glenn to the city today to get some cars, so he's making some plans. But so the original car was bought, I believe, in an auction. They didn't know it was the Bullitt car back in the 70s, I believe, by a family in New York, like upstate New York or Buffalo, New York, or whatever. And it was a place like where I live here in Hamilton, Ontario, because they're not far over the border. They get brutal winters, right? Like just like Canada winters. And this family, for years and years, drove this car as their daily driver. Drove it in the New York winters. Like, I believe at one time it had a trailer hitch on it. They figure out, like, the movie wasn't meant to be as big as it was. And when it started blowing up, I guess Steve McQueen himself found out that the car had been sold. And a few years later, wrote a personal letter to the family. And asked the family, you know, like, would you sell me the car back? He goes, I'm not going to pay, like, ridiculous millions of dollars for it, but if it's a reasonable price, I would like to sell it back, or I'd like to buy it back. And they kept it. Now, they got a lot of money for it, because they sold it only a couple years ago, and I can't remember what they got, but you could Google the Bullitt Mustang, see what it got at auction. It was a ridiculous amount of money, and it looked like a Survivor. It wasn't all restored or anything. But it would have been tough, because you got a personal letter from Steve McQueen, a legend, asking you to sell the car. Or do you hold on to it, try to store it for years for the chance that it's going to be worth a lot of money? Now, they did get a lot of money for it, but I don't know, man. The letter from Steve McQueen and that, like, yeah, I think they're happier with the money myself, but interesting story. For a lot of years, that car was dread. It's not the only famous car either. For years, you know, you remember Biggie and Tupac, how they got murdered? Look up their vehicles they've just sold at auctions, the murder vehicles. Biggie's Suburban was driven for years by a family, and they had no idea what it was. It was their daily driver. They bought it at a police auction. It had the bullet hole still in the seatbelt where he was sitting. They had no idea. And then a VIN check was done one day, and it was like, holy crap, and they ended up getting a lot of money for it. But anyway, that's phase 2A of the model done. Let's get to 2B. My bad, guys, I didn't show you. So that's what we got done so far. This is going to be 2B right here. The exhaust, the hubs and all that. So let's get at her. Just notice, guys, we're breaking out the little screws, getting to the vital parts. Well, we just finished part 2B here. Man, that's a pain in the butt. That's too much like doing a model. And I have no patience, so I'm just like a kid that wants to rush it. But when I was a kid and used to rush these, I'd end up with extra parts, if you know what that means. So, no extra parts on my 118s. Part 3 will be assembling the interior. Well, part 3 is all done, guys. We put the master cylinder on, we did the interior, put the seats in. Now on to this part, we put the interior chassis onto the outer chassis. Part 4 is in the bag. The interior assembly, that steering column was a bitch to line that rod up underneath. Wow. But in the bag. So we're on to the last couple steps, but there's lots of small parts. But luckily I'm not boring you guys watching me actually put it together, because this is taking me a long time. So glad I don't gotta bore you guys. So that chapter's seen us finish part 5A and B. A lot of the body. She's starting to look recognizable. Front grille, rear view mirror, door handles, interior. The hinges are beautiful. It's got the same hood hinges as the Bandit car. I don't know if the trunk opens or not, but has the same hood hinges as the Vanishing Point car from G. Just very beautiful hinges. Surprisingly enough, the Bandit car, I don't like the hood hinges at all, but these open nicely. Just like the Vanishing Point. But that's part 5A and B. Let's get this done today. A friendly reminder, guys, this episode has been brought to you by the Retrofly Back to the Future 2 Hovering Time Machine by Retro Collectibles, your trustable name in collectibles since 2015. Part 6, boys and girls. Final assemblies. Look at that. Let's go. Ooh, guys, I was just about to put up a video saying we were missing some vital parts like the front bumper, but they put them in a weird spot. Still gotta find the 2 chrome side pieces though, the trim pieces. They better turn up. Well, she's all done, guys. I'm not gonna lie, it took me a couple days to do it because there was a lot more parts to it. So I just got out of the shower, I'm all dressed up, getting ready. Well, not dressed up, like I'm dressed, getting ready for work. But what do you think? Should we go have a look at it? Yeah, no? Let's go have a look at it. I'll tell you what I think of the model kit overall. She does look great. I don't regret buying it. Would I buy one of these 1 of 18 scale ERTL model kits at full pop? No. And I'll tell you why. Some of the parts were a bitch. Like some of the screws, like they use 3 different size screws, so you gotta use different size ones for different parts. Some of the parts were hard to go together. I love the hinge they used on the hood. They did the same hinging on the vanishing point I got from G. It kind of like clicks open. Detailing's okay, but I am going to touch up some stuff under the hood, like I'm going to paint the battery terminal silver, stuff like that. But overall it looks good. It should have a I don't know, did the Bullitt car have a Mustang symbol on the front? Now I didn't apply decals, guys. It's got license plate decals and it's got some for the air cleaner. Didn't apply those yet because my decal solution is at my apartment and I'm not staying at my apartment because my wife just left me and I'm not comfortable being there alone. It's eerie. Her and the cat are gone, so lucky I have good friends. I'm staying with a buddy for a few days, kind of couch surfing. Still have my apartment, have it till I believe November 1st, but not going to be keeping her. Oh, one thing I did forget, guys, and you guys didn't remind me. Usually I'll take a light and go inside and say, look at the detail. You could see the gauges, you could see even the gas pedals, the door handles. By the way, guys, it is nicely detailed. It's got chrome door handles, everything like that. It is got the same detail, in my opinion, as the non-model kit. But you guys made me forget the clutch, brake, and gas. The most important parts to make her go. Bullitt go. How's it gonna outrun the Charger without that? Luckily, it looks like it snaps into place, so I'll take some tweezers, get those in there pretty easy. Now, the pros to this model kit. It doesn't have as many parts as a regular model kit. It's got the metal body, which is awesome. It's 1/18 scale. It's pretty highly detailed. A lot of the parts snapped snugly into place and you did not have to use glue. Some of the cons though. Over the years, because this is from 2002, see the back emblem? The chrome plating rubbed off, so I'm gonna get some of that chrome plating paint to fix that. Same with the one signal here. Came with a tiny ding on the side right here, but I'm gonna touch that up. That color paint is pretty easy to touch up, easy to hide stuff. Wheels look nice, everything looks nice. Trunk does not open, not a big deal. Like I don't care about looking at a trunk jack. Again, the decals are going on later. Now, what I forgot to tell you, one of the drawbacks to this, getting the body to sit on this frame to bolt it down is a bitch. Even more of a bitch, okay, so you have this all assembled, these parts are glued on. Now, if you notice, about 80% of loose 1/18 die-cast car models sold on the classifieds, when you read them, it's missing a windshield wiper, it's missing a mirror, it's missing a door handle. I used to think those people, wow, they're being negligent. No, it's because you look or breathe at these things and they fall off. These tires, to snap them on the axles, and you gotta snap them on so it rolls, you gotta use Hercules strength. I was knocking these little delicate parts off. I was scared I was gonna break the axles altogether. Guys, you shouldn't need a rubber mallet to put those on. I didn't use a rubber mallet, but holy crap. You need Hercules strength to get those on. And when you're using Hercules strength to get them on, you're breaking off all your delicates. So that's not a good design either. So I like that a lot of glue places didn't have to be used, but I didn't like the how hard it was to put the wheels on or get the body mated to the frame. But it does sit like the Bullitt car. One thing that I couldn't do either, the wheels roll. They don't steer left to right. It had a steering rod. I connected it to the little box down below. Thought I did everything right. No matter what I did, it did not line up properly. No matter what. So, in my opinion, don't pay full pot for these. Okay? Do not pay full pot for them. The model kits. And I would buy it if it's cheap. Like I got this for 60 bucks. I got a 1/18 Bullitt Mustang for 60 bucks. I'm happy with that. I'm not going to upgrade it. It looks great. Looks better than the green light one in my opinion. So yeah, I'm going to keep that. And any cheap ones like that with bashed in boxes, the model kits, I'm gonna grab if they're cheap, but full pop, I'm gonna pass and buy the already assembled ones so I don't gotta deal with that pain in the butt. Because we're getting too old for that shit. One last thing before I let all you Retromaniacs go. So I mentioned that me and my wife have split. It happened Friday. I'm gonna be okay. I have a good job. I've got awesome friends. It happened Friday. She moved back home. Her family lives a very far way away in British Columbia. I live in Hamilton. She missed them terribly. Her parents are getting old. There was other issues as well. There's fires out there right now. She's very worried about her parents. She wasn't a fan of how her work was treating her. And I'm going to be honest, her and me were having some issues as well. Like, I'm not going to just blame that, right? So yeah, so she is gone. We're still friends. I still love her and care about her, I mean, but we're not going to get back together. She's going to be with her family. This is a new phase in my life. Now, I thought about it. I didn't feel like doing any videos Friday, and when I went to the diecast show Saturday, I had a vendor that I know ask me, why aren't you getting any shots? You're not filming anything. I'm surprised. And I lied to him. I felt like a piece of shit doing it. I said, oh, you know what? I worked a night shift. I'm tired. You know, I didn't feel like doing it. I felt like a piece of shit for lying to this guy because I like him. But how do I tell him that in a diecast show? I'm not going to start dumping that stuff on him. Like, I haven't made a formal announcement yet. Like, this is the most formal announcement I've made is to you guys. I've told close friends. I've told family. But there's a bunch of people that are going to be blown away when they hear about this. But I decided I'm going to keep collecting because that's me. It keeps me sober. I got a bunch of awesome friends in collecting that saved my butt Friday when I was down in the dumps. They came banging on my apartment doors, said, grab some clothes, we're taking you out of here. And these are people that I met collecting. Sober people, good people. So I'm going to keep doing what I do. Unfortunately, I had the privilege of having a whole room for my toys. I'm not going to have that anymore. So clearly, a lot of it's got to go. Am I upset about it? No, because as I've mentioned in other videos, I always have collected this stuff with the idea that down the road it's going to be sold. Whether it's for my nest egg or for an emergency, whatever, right? Like I sold my entire LJN collection. People were blown away. People were wondering if I was having financial problems. No, they were sitting in a Rubbermaid bin and I hated that fact. I said, they got to be enjoyed. You know what I mean? Had a Sergeant Slaughter figure sitting in a Rubbermaid bin. He should be on a mantle somewhere. But anyway, I'm staying with friends because the apartment, the cat's gone. It's too quiet. Like I went there to get a few things the other day, looked at the empty cat litter box, seen a couple of Diane's things. I got upset. And yeah, so I left. So I'm staying with friends. I'm fortunate, and where I live, is 25 minutes each way from work. My friend's house here is about a 5-minute drive, so it's awesome in that sense, and it's in a beautiful area, and so I'm very lucky to have this place to stay at off and on, and until I get things figured out and get on my feet. I'm very fortunate to have the friends that I have. Anyway, guys, sorry to dump that on you. Just, you're going to notice that I'm not filming in the toy room with the toys in the background anymore and stuff, and you're going to be wondering what happened. I didn't want you to think, oh crap, did he go back on, did he, you know, not to joke about it, but did he relapse and lose his place to live? Did his wife leave him because he's back on drugs, or is he in trouble? I wanted to be straight up with you guys, because things are going to look different in my videos. It's going to be a new location a lot of times, and I didn't want you guys thinking, you know what I mean? Well, something bad did happen, but I didn't want you thinking it was something worse or something that I wouldn't get through. By the way, my eyes are red because I just got out of the shower. I've mentioned it before. They're not red because I've been crying all night or anything like that, so don't worry about that. I just wiped toothpaste off my lip if you're wondering about that. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I got a cool video coming for you guys even tomorrow. We went on a big, well, we found some treasures on Marketplace in 2 different cities. So me and Glenn, the proud owner of the Cowie Diecast collection, went for a run out of town and got some cool stuff. So you guys will see that tomorrow. But anyway, I hope you enjoy the Bullitt. And I know I'm going to enjoy it, my collection. Be safe and take care, guys.